environment, right? So if we, for instance, if we're playing a game and we know how that game should be played, and then we convolve that with your kinematics and your kinetics, your movements and your muscle forces, we're going to know exactly what you need to be doing.
Hey everyone,
Yeah.
my name is Dr. Nick
And I just
Housley
wanted
with
to,
Motus
just as a point of
I'm a
interest,
licensed
I
neurophysical
know
therapist
the
and
MyoPro's
neuroscientist,
original systems
helping brain
had
injury
EMG
survivors
sensors that
understand
were
how to
being
make
applied
functional
primarily
gains
to the
after their
deltoid
injury.
and
I hope
to
this video helps
some of the
you in your
bicep
recovery.
muscles. But so you said now they're on the triceps as well, and they're on the wrist too?
Yeah, there's 3 sensors on your bicep, 3 sensors on your tricep, 3 sensors on the inside of your arm, and 3 sensors on the top of your arm for opening and closing your fingers.
Okay, so it went, so here and here, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I got
very good. And
good.
how
The EMG signals put off by my muscles are really good. Matter of fact, they're
nice.
too good. They're off this chart. And
Yeah.
then when I try to close my hand, the open signal is there too. So they're conflicting with each other. Have both signals at once.
Yep. Now, Robert, what you're describing there is a classic problem, and that is an issue of what's called co-contraction. This is one of the other things that is really, really tough to deal with EMG, because what's happening there is you have both of those systems, both your extensors and your flexors contracting at once. And it's going to be almost impossible to discriminate what your intent is to do with that situation, right? Because the sort of temporal ability to resolve on and off, very, very challenging. These are problems that we deal with lab grade equipment, dealing with $100,000 sensors. And this problem is a very, very tough one to deal with. And so it's no surprise that with someone with co-contraction like you're describing, it can be very, very hard to deal with. Now, when we look at the results of your movements, conditioned with the environment, right? So if we, for instance, if we're playing a game and we know how that game should be played, and then we convolve that with your kinematics and your kinetics, your movements and your muscle forces, we're going to know exactly what you need to be doing.
Hey, if you're finding this video helpful, please hit like and subscribe to help other brain injury survivors learn how Motus Nova is changing neuro rehab.
Right? And so we can help to try to disentangle that intent from those kind of noisy signals that are coming from your body's inability to discoordinate or disentangle those activations of your extensors and your flexors. So we have a bit of an advantage there in that case.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But that being said, it would be really interesting to, as soon as you get the system, let's get you back on and let's do an assessment together and let's see how you can operate here. I think one thing that could be good is that these things can be used together, right? We can actually try to work on discriminating the activation of your extensors and your flexors. And that's actually one of the main things that we work on with the Motus Hand, being able to turn one of the muscles off and turn the other one on. And being able to do that with greater and greater fidelity is a really important aspect of motor control. And so
that's what I've been practicing, how to relax my muscle.
Yep. And the biofeedback that is provided with the screen is going to be one of the best ways to learn that, right? Because you're going to be having a visual consequence of what happens when you don't do that. And so you'll know, you'll learn the strategies by which you can turn, say, for instance, your flexors on and then turn them off, but turn them off with respect to your extensors turning on. That's a really challenging thing. Many of us take for granted, but it's so critical for basically every function we do with our upper extremities, and it has to be done with exquisite detail. For instance, if I'm trying to take out this cup of coffee, I have to be able to jointly extend my wrist and then flex my fingers at the same time, but they have to be done in nice sequence. So it's a really challenging process to deal with, but having that biofeedback in game is going to be, I think, maybe a nice distinct advantage for you.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
When I looked at the product, I looked at it as very complementary to my MyoPro, that they would go together beautifully.
I think so. And these things are not necessarily like antagonistic to each other. I think one of them is an assisted device in which you put it on and it can give you some function, right? If you can learn the EMG patterns, it will help you open up your hand right then and there. But for us, we want you to be able to have that capacity without having an assistive device. And so as you are regaining that endogenous or internal capacity to operate with the Motus Hand, you can be using the MyoPro to actually sort of be sort of to gain that function immediately. So the one challenge though with those assistive-based systems is that they don't necessarily give you carryover effects, and that was one of always the criticisms, and which is why we think that they need to be used together. I think it's a great opportunity for you to find yourself in to have both of those systems to benefit from.
All right, great.
Yeah. Well, I will look forward to Bob. I'll look forward to our next conversation where we can actually jump on the Motus Hand and actually do some evaluation. We'll do an evaluation. We'll see what's going on there, and we'll make sure all of the systems are set up for you, and we'll get you off to the races in terms of getting better. Okay.
All right. This is my 3rd year anniversary is next month, and I sure miss my hand.
Yeah. Well, happy early anniversary. And I'm sure we'll be chatting probably sometime in October, if not before that. And so I'll look forward to helping you on your way after 3 years of recovery. So I'm excited.
All right.
Thanks for watching this video. If you have questions or would like to speak with me about how you can make functional gains from home, call or text me at 404-939-3476 or visit motusnova.com/contact.